Well, how's it going, Kingsman? Welcome back to another Napoleonic Total War 3 battle. Hope you guys are all doing well. If you guys are ready for another 4v4, this is on Italy 9, between some various experienced players. From what I can tell, I don't think they're actually on a specific clan. But yeah, this was a, like I said, 4v4 between, I believe, 1806 cores. So you have a... they're not really on the leaderboard, so I'm just going to figure out the one side, and then, I don't know, it's going to be up for grabs as to what the French were. There's a 6-point Prussia. You have an 11-point Prussia as well, the Hohenlohe. You have a Saxony 8-pointer, and then a Russia 12-point Bagration. Now, going against them are... I honestly, man, I've done a lot of research recently into cores. Well, that's a lie. I've never ever done really research on the cores. But we have four French armies. No real spin-off for them. They're all just the same. I believe there is some Imperial Guard. In fact, this may be either a combat general or this is an actual general. I'm not sure which. I see little stars, so I'm not sure what they were going. Maybe they've got to bring a general. Who knows? No, I think that's a general, yeah. But anyway, we have the Prussians scouting up ahead here. So they are kind of trying to see where the French are going to consolidate forces. There are several roads that focus on this town center, not even town center, the center field area with the tree lines. There's, 1, 2, 3, and then actually a fourth way on the flank. But we can already see the French, who actually may have a cav clash here. Both sides extract themselves. We have French infantry rolling up. We see some light infantry, some line infantry, some artillery, and actually a coalition pushing cavalry forward quite aggressively. But there's line infantry ready to make a stand here. They're going to form some squares, start firing. And the French are going to form up, you can see, in the open fields here. So they have a nice advancing column, a lot of infantry. And obviously the coalition doesn't have a whole lot except for their cavalry up at the moment. So it is the French, the Imperials' turn to set up first. And the coalition's going to have to make their attack dependent on where the coalition, or where the Imperials are set up, I guess. I don't know. Kind of feel like that's a circular statement, but a lot more LOCs getting seized. France really pushing. They don't even need the cavalry. They have all this infantry that can square, so of course the coalition's going to have to start falling back. If anything, they may slow the advance of the French, make them have to pay attention a little bit more. But besides that, there's nothing else that's really going to stop them, the French, from pushing forward until there's actually coalition infantry pouring volleys into them. So for now, it's just like, you can almost imagine the French are marching through this area. They know the enemy are ahead, so they're trying to look for them. All they've seen is cavalry. They have no idea where the enemy is yet. But it would have to be close in the context of this sort of thing. You see this much cav presence, you know there's probably line infantry presence close by. Here we go, though, the 11-pointer. Most of his troops are still pretty far behind the lines over here on the right. And, of course, like I said, Saxony is still over here on the right as well. They're going to be a little bit late to the field, which means it is on Bagration. And this 6-point Prussia, which I don't know if this Prussia even has infantry. I don't know, maybe they have like a cav corps. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't see any infantry, just cavalry. I do hear artillery starting to fire, so we may have some horse guns.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
Yep, horse guns over here on the flank. Beautiful thing about horse guns, you can rush them forward pretty early on, start really shooting up the enemy, and then move them around. Move them onto the flank as needed, and exactly what they're doing. They're going to limber them up, probably pushing forward to some more cavalry. Obviously, the French have taken this house kind of as a forward command post. They have a line set up in preparation for a potential coalition assault. Still nothing, though. If you look down the road, nothing to see. Man, that looks really pretty. Like, seriously, I know it's a game and not everything's rendering, but still, it looks so real. So vivid. I don't know what artillery is firing. I'm trying to figure that out. We do have infantry about to make contact, though, from the coalition. So, Bagration is pushing forward. Infantry, he's going to charge in some dragoons. They're going to form a square, I predict. If anything, they're just trying to delay them.
We have taken a building, sir.
We got cavalry getting shot up here. There's a lot of cav guys. Hussars are going to make super big impact on this line, but still, the coalition is ambushing this column out of nowhere. Oh, man. And, you know, they did break the initial line from France, but now there's just a lot of squares, and Prussia seems to be interesting enough, still trying to pursue this. There's some squares, though, that France set up, and they obviously are still pushing out this line. They have more infantry. Yeah, this coalition cavalry is going to start suffering, but they're going to have to, unfortunately, pull back. Maybe they're delaying so they can get their horse artillery up. Guess we'll see. Over here, you can see some skirmishers, even some artillery, maybe. France advancing. Skirmishers holding their ground for now. Now the problem is there's two French armies right here against Bagration. Obviously he has a cav corps defending him, but that's still a lot of infantry from the French pushing on the coalition. So who knows? You know, who knows if that's gonna actually work out for them or not. They may have to pull back towards their ally. A lot of cavalry for the coalition. I'm beginning to really notice it. There is tons of cav, and I have not seen a lot of French cav. Which that could be intentional. Maybe the French are focusing on their infantry only, and that may actually work out quite well for them. I guess we'll find out as time goes on. Does look like a small light infantry contingent is pulling back to the left side here. If anything, they could take to the woods and kind of be a harassment on the French advance. But the Russians are still falling back, as France is still pursuing an engagement here. Looks like some cavalry once again hitting another square. The French have so many squares here. If anything, they're trying to just defend their artillery pieces. I'm assuming that several of those charges have just been for that, but then now there's infantry to kind of support it. Looks like France may be sending a cavalry charge right into the rear of the Hussars. Ooh, canister from this horse artillery just tearing up this light infantry. And there's two of them. That's a very coordinated attack by the artillery, kind of staggering, helping each other out. France is still starting to form a line of battle, so the coalition have a little bit of time left. Now, there's a lot of crosshairs, a lot of chevaliers from the Saxon faction. We'll see if they use those very aggressively or not, as this battle keeps rolling. More cavalry looking to maybe charge in as some Russians start charging in. Square gets formed. Oh, man. Yep, France has some squares. Ooh, some nice volleys by those light infantry, just absolutely tearing up that front line from France. As both sides here are getting extremely close to each other.
Our men are running, sir.
Alright, so some cavalry did break here. Some hussars, those skirmishers, infantry, and artillery. Artillery is up in the front lines. We'll see if they get some canister fire off. Ooh, this is going to be brutal. Oh my god. Look at the canister. Wow, that's some nice canister going off. The French are getting a little too close here to the lines. Some nice counter volleys from the French reserves. Prussia's kind of starting to get shot up with their cavalry.
Sir, our general is under attack.
We do have more Prussian infantry now pushing up into that forward line. Ooh, howitzers just smacking in, and you can see the morale starting to waver a little bit. Oh, that was loud. Hoping that wasn't too loud for the video. Man, that was really loud. My body volume way too high.
Our men are running, sir.
Man, I've seen a lot of cavalry charges here. Now this looks like it's a lot more successful, smacking into two line infantry, but you can see the French are just gonna basically attach themselves to the side, just pour volleys into that cavalry on the flank, and that's probably gonna stop them from being able to have an effective charge off. I believe the artillery is running off. I mean, obviously this French line struggling. Yeah, the artillery did break. This Prussian line is struggling against the masses of French infantry that are just pushing forward. You can see a whole flank here of elites. Just a ton of Imperial elite infantry in the center. That is concerning here. As obviously the coalition is still pulling back. Maybe they're going to hold on this hill as it stretches around here. But, I mean, the French have a very excellent position for attacking. And the attack seems to be stretching the entire span of the fight. I mean, they have an attack going along all points. There is nowhere where they're being defensive. And the aggression is starting to get to the coalition, as they are just trying to reform a line. I mean, the Prussians are actually holding right here, but they are being obviously attacked. They're not making the advances.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
And the problem with this infantry, this stuff is just, it's so good. Melee, morale, shooting, squares, it's got it all. And it's going straight for his center. And you can see, of course, we have a Prussian line that is reforming here to meet them, and we have some cavalry pushing forward. And squares get formed.
Our men are running, sir.
And one of the Prussian Chevaliers does break. Now it may be time for the infantry to try to pour in some volleys on this Imperial Guard. Let the infantry have a say in that fight. France still just pushing really hard on this flank. Bagration is just, hasn't been able to form up yet to fight. Maybe he's just trying to get to this side. Maybe if they can form a line along this ridge. But France is getting real close here. Another cav charge. There's too many squares to focus a lot of cavalry right here, I feel like. But Prussia does have a line forming up. Over here, the coalition, if the French advanced right now, they'd be in big trouble. The coalition's right flank would be in huge trouble. French look like they're actually going to be reforming their lines as well. More cavalry charging in against this line. Looks like it's light infantry versus light infantry for the French and Russians. Alright, now we're starting to see a pressure on this left flank from France.
Our men are running, sir.
As Saxony looks like they may have to try to get themselves into position, but their flank is definitely in jeopardy. Cavalry still keeps charging in from Prussia. Starting to see them take some losses here. France, however, is falling back. They do have a bit of a reserve. That's the best kind of reserve to have, to be honest. But they should hold for a little while at least. What? I'm not sure. I'm assuming that unit's not actually there. Maybe me having another mod installed at the same time has caused some weird things to happen in some of my replays. I think maybe, like, I have two different folders for them, but still, I don't know. Artillery is obviously focusing on this general. So the lines are drawn. We do have the Russians who've fallen back to this tree line. That's where they're kind of holding fast for now. We have a larger flank, though, being pushed by the French. Looks like, yeah, Russia may pull up. I mean, this rock structure is actually going to help put a extra space in their line that they don't have to hold. But there's artillery from France set up in a beautiful position on the other side of this hill. Just, it's shooting basically over the French infantry's heads. Oh, we have another cavalry charge. Oh, multiple cav charges. Saxony holding as best they can. They're definitely not taking on a massive army at this point. Yet. They're not taking on a massive army yet. It looks like that Prussian line does break. France is just trying to hold this hill. Russia is trying to hold this hill, and France is just getting super aggressive here. You seem to have plenty of reserves. This whole light infantry division detachment thing, whatever you want to call it, is just doing some incredible work, just shredding up the Russians. Looks like Russia may be committing some troops to a melee here, even sending cavalry and breaking some of the French. We may have a bit of a charge down here. Oh, artillery just absolutely brutalizing this cavalry line. Light infantry going up against some Imperial Guard. That's probably not going to go too well for the Russians. And this line's looking a little bit weaker. Now we do have some grenadiers from Prussia pushing forward. We may have some cavalry as well trying to support this attack that the coalition is doing. And it may be starting to work. We'll see. Another square. Oh my gosh, there's so many squares the French have. We have some French cavalry. I'm not sure where they're planning on going. They run in front of some guns. This whole fight, though, looked a little chaotic. Obviously, reserves from Prussia has pushed forward, but the French have managed to repel every attack that the coalition have thrown at them. Probably based on the fact that they have this Imperial elite infantry that just keeps taking every cav engagement. Oh wow, more crosshairs going into the French line. This looks like this is where the coalition is making their commitment to the attack, charging downhill on multiple flanks. Just, oh man, they just routed this French line. What a beautiful turn of events after repeated charges that just turned around in their face. They made a huge breakthrough on the French line, just breaking through. And now this right flank is going to be in jeopardy. They may have to actually slow down just a little bit here. Beautifully done. I'm glad I caught that. Man, that was beautiful. They have the crosshairs in there. Some line infantry, I believe. Yeah, those dragoons, which pulled back. Over here, it does look like France is actually committing to a melee here against Saxony, and probably going to do quite well here. Countercharge from Saxon troops. France just constantly pushing forward that momentum they have starting to get on the flank. And it's not looking too good, guys. Not looking good. However, they are starting to hold just a little bit here. More infantry pushing forward. That Imperial Grenadiers units starting to set that forward momentum again, as they are still. France has broken the center, but they have pulled their right flank a little bit to the left and started pushing it into the center, and obviously swinging around the right flank as well. So despite all of the gains made by the coalition, France is still pressing forward that attack. There's some Saxon cav here. This could be super helpful in this charge, or this counter-offensive, and they're going to charge right in. Prussia still holding that line. Saxony, though, is starting to crumble. They have this artillery battery, and they have cavalry, which... so maybe trying to press it forward. I haven't really paid too much attention to this side, to be honest. Both sides have kind of just been dueling it out. Ooh, artillery from Saxony, though, maybe going to help even the odds just a little bit. Maybe this cavalry, too. Over here, the coalition are in almost full retreat mode. They're going to have this LOC. Maybe they're going to try and save a bit of their army, have an LOC to stop them. But obviously the French still have quite the force to be able to hold this forward momentum they have. Saxony still holds the hill.
'em
they hold a little hill here. That's actually a strong position, and that's still protecting the coalition's flank, because you can see Prussia pulling back, Russia holding the LOC. They're standing fast as best they can, and obviously this LOC is going to be a problem for the French, so they may try to swing around the flank first. But basically the coalition could fall back to here, and Prussia could hold with Saxony still protecting their flank, and it would still work out. There's obviously still Saxon artillery that can turn around and face this approaching French army. Obviously they're still trying to deal with this, which is why the French have stretched their lines out so they don't take a whole lot of casualties. Over here, just because of the flank by the river, coalition, Prussian general has been slain.
Our men are running, sir. Our men are running, sir.
Still Saxony hold the right flank. We still have this Saxon cuirassier. So we still have some heavy cavalry. Let's just see what they end up doing with it. Artillery now can turn and start helping on this side, but see, France is just pressing forward. Russia has drawn a line in the sand, as it were, using this road as a defensive position. Ooh, they may even have a bayonet charge with some grenadiers. More and more Russia's starting to crumble, though, so I think despite how desperately they're all fighting, things are probably going to start shifting in the Imperials' favor.
Our men are running, sir.
Yeah, things are not looking too good with the French just constantly pressing forward. Look at this melee still. And what's left of this coalition on the hill looks like it's still holding. Oh wow, did the general charge in? And it looks like what's left is just scattered bits of the coalition left. Like I said, I'm not sure if my replays are still a little bugged out. That's totally possible. I'm going to have to do a clean install of NTW3. Because it's just, it feels like some of them are just, you know, units just sitting there at the very end, and that definitely feels wrong. Like those units should be running away. So I'm not totally sure what's going on. But thankfully the battle seemed pretty smooth. We still got to see some amazing plays. And Saxony's still trying to hold. So because artillery batteries are, you know, not holding. But like I said, I'm not sure some of those are just the glitched replay. But if it's just some scattered units left here at this point, I made a skip to the end so we can see the results. Really was gorgeous, this charge downhill that broke the first French line. If only they had had a little bit more infantry to be able to follow it up, maybe they would have won more Russian infantry, I don't know. But it did really well eventually when they finally got that attack off. But by that point, there was so much French concentration on the flank. I feel like it just didn't work out well for them. So like I said, unless something changes, it's an Imperial victory, and unless something changes in this replay, I'm just going to skip to the end so we can see the results of this battle. Alright guys, so that's the battle. A Imperial victory, but I have the results pulled up here so you can see on the coalition side. You have Sim as Saxony, 833 for the kills. You have Cossack with 1053 for the kills. Philippe with 1174. I think he was the 11-pointer. And then you have Sigismund. I believe he was the Cav Corps with only 663 men that he deployed with. That's usually a Cav Corps. He got 390 kills. Other side, Arjun's 885 was his size of his army. 1044 was the kills. Wolfric with 1146. Al with 1459. And Rambo with 1189. So, you know, still some good kills on the coalition, but not as good as compared to the Imperial. But still, I feel like it was a very enjoyable battle to watch, especially that Cav play. That, you know, even if the rest of the battle may not be as enjoyable, that initial clash where both sides are kind of given a little bit of wiggle room for the other to have, you know, some aggression, makes for some amazing, beautiful plays. So, yeah, anyway, guys, that'll be it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm still hunting up those NTW3 replays, so I promise I'll keep pumping those out. In the meantime, you know, this other mod's been a fun change of pace in some regards. But, you know, the beautiful thing is being able to hop between the two and enjoy the stuff about both of them. Been really enjoying it. So, you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and as always, I'll catch you all in another video.